N.A falls short on vacation, and we've got the final set for Apex this week on the Weekly Blizz.
Drop the beat.
Are you with me?
We are back this week on the Weekly Blizz. I'm Guaz, and we actually have both of these. Let me see, both of these fools here. We've got Bahgz and Brotein over here. So
what's going on, guys?
yeah, Bahgz, you were on vacation. You left us for the Bahama Mamas. So how was that? Was it good?
It was everything you could absolutely hope for.
Yeah.
Pretty jealous.
Did you get to see
It got
any
cold here.
Yeah, it did. Well, it's warm. Did you get to see any of Hearthstone while you were down there?
No, I didn't. We weren't actually in the Bahamas. We were in the Caribbean. We went to Puerto Rico, St. Thomas, St. Martin, Tortola,
Tortuga,
and we boated through a hurricane or something like a hurricane. We weren't actually allowed. There was actually a day where we weren't allowed outside of on the deck out of the boat.
That's fun.
Because it was so windy and the boat was rocking like crazy. But it was good. It was it was a blast.
The boats are rocking.
What did they say?
Don't worry about it. We'll tell you when you're older.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate that.
Well,
it was good. It was a lot of fun.
It's good. Good to have you back, and we still have Brotein again this week too. So let's start with the show.
Surprise.
This week was a little slow on some ends, mainly heroes. There wasn't too much happening. So we're gonna add in a little bit of news here and there too in this week's show. So let's get into it. But first, how about our week in gaming? So Brotein, how was yours?
More struggles with Team League. That's all I have to say. I did a duo queue with my buddy, and we're silver in Team League. It's not looking good. We have not had very many good teammates.
Silver pleb.
I would say. I know.
Hashtag
but
feels bad,
it's
man.
fine. So I mean, we just keep for fun, trying to win some games, and we sat in a 649 second queue. I don't know. I don't even want to think about what that translates to, but like 6 minutes. And
it's over 10 minutes.
No,
man.
wait, yeah, 10 minutes, yeah. And the worst part about it was we got matched up with 2 masters, 3 grandmasters, and one of them was ranked number 62 for Team League. so that was a 10-minute game. But, like, the guy at our team, we had a Zool first pick, the guy first pick Zool, like immediate pick. It's like, why? Like, he's gonna be available like way later if you want to play him so bad.
Yeah.
And so it was on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and like, you know, the strat is like supposed to be you're supposed to be, you know, you got your best top laner, and then you have 4 rotate mid bot, and it's pretty standard, whatever. And so call that out, and this guy's like, no, it's 4 bot, and I rotate between the middle and top lanes, the Zool. And he's like, you have to bait them bottom. I'm like, no, you don't bait the bottom. You actually, like, you fight them with the 4 stack, not the 1. Like, they're gonna gank you every time. And he got killed like 5 times. And he keeps calling out this strat. I'm like, bro, like, we didn't even have a bad draft, but I mean, they're valid. Just
strong in that map. He is, but he had it, like you said, he had it backwards. He should have been bottom lane and just absolutely.
Well, I mean, if he just solo lane, he would have been fine. But like, he tried to do too much and try to make us do something that wasn't going to work. So we just all stayed mid and didn't have any soak because we just kept getting ganked. So he would get ganked, so one of us would rotate off, and we were just getting toppled. Their Joanna was kicking our butt. So it was fun though.
I just wonder.
We were just laughing.
I wonder
10-minute queue for that.
Who you got paired up with to wait. No,
the guy was gold. It was 3 gold.
So then, how
2
do you get
silver,
matched up with a grandmaster, man? Team league
because it's a 10-minute queue.
Because it's 10-minute queue. All right, the team league
Yeah.
matchmaker is El Busto, man. It's no good.
That was rough. I was like, I don't know what to do. So, yeah, that's been me. How about you, Guaz?
I finished my placements for Hero League. Got silver 2, which was up 1 from last season. It was
that face.
yeah, I know. Well, you know,
It's better than rank 45.
I mean, not all of us can just dive in solo when the rest of the team is retreating and then blame the rest of our team. I mean, I don't know who would do that on a solo.
All my wins are solo.
But
haters gonna hate, right?
But yeah, and then I played a game afterwards, so I'm a win away from promotion. But I played it and I had last pick, and I picked Illidan, and we had a Chen, and they're like, "You picked Illidan against an Arthas and a Valera," and I'm like, "We'll be fine, don't worry about it." And we
That's
had
a horrible pick, dude.
No. We were fine. We had a Lily too, and Lily's like, "It's fine, I'll just blind them." So the few times I did get frozen, because like, I mean, if you're still getting frozen by Arthas at this point on Illidan, like, come on. But it's easy to avoid.
He's a counter.
But I know he is, but it's still easy to avoid that. But still, so every time if I did get frozen, I would just press my E, and then as soon as it wore off, I would just W away. And then I only died a couple times, but as soon as we hit 10, our comp was better for late game. As soon as we hit 10, and they also had a Zeratul too, so they had like no soak. So we were up a little bit. So
Silver.
so as soon as we hit 10, I was just, if Valera or Zeratul were in sight, I was just hunting them, and then we'd turn around and kill the rest of the team. And it just kept going like that basically the rest of the... at one point though, we thought we were going to lose. We even started to call GG. Because we actually got team wiped, and they started to just like victory march down the middle. But that was also their doom, because then we all rezzed and we all had our ults up. We just wiped them. Yeah, we just wiped them, and then we eventually won it. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it was that. A lot of Overwatch, a lot more Overwatch. Trying to expand my hero pool in that and get better with certain like hit scan heroes like Widow and McCree, and doing like a lot of like practice range stuff with them, like aiming with them. And
Nice.
yeah, I mean, I unsubbed from WoW right before 7.2 came out.
Yeah, same.
Not loving it like I used to. I was telling Bahgz earlier today, like I went like full nerd mode into how I could find the love for the game again. Like I went into like lore of different classes to see like maybe this would like bring back the love of the game, and yeah, still nothing really helped. But
Yeah. For me, it would be like I would just need Blizzard to not make you have to be on every single day doing something to be relevant.
yeah.
Like, you know, but the artifact, that was the extreme deterrent. Like, I don't have time to be on every single day. I'm never in a consistent spot.
I mean, neither was I. But I mean, artifact though the artifact level wasn't that bad, because honestly, like I didn't really do that many dungeons or raids. I stopped raiding, so I would just do, and I wouldn't even do every single emissary quest. Like I would do the emissary quest, but not every day. And I wouldn't do all the world quests too. I would just do like the bare minimum. And I still maxed out my weapon, like actually before like some other people too, just by doing that. So I mean, it wasn't that bad.
Did you max out 2 weapons or just 1?
I maxed out my mage, but on 2 specs.
Okay, yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, because having to get a couple for my DK was kind of just like.
Yeah. I mean,
I never really got into it.
Keep going too, but at that point I was like, I'll just invest into like a different spec. But yeah. So I mean, it wasn't that bad, but it's also just the fact of like you have to go on, you have to do the emissaries, do all this, and now there's another grind. It's basically Tanan 2.0. Like that's basically what 7.2
was fine with me, but I had the time back then.
But it's doing that. You have to grind out a whole new rep too for flying, and I was like, Basically, that's how I kind of feel about it right now. So we'll see. Yeah, but that was it. Bahgz, I mean, did you get to? I mean, you just got home yesterday.
You played Hearthstone.
I haven't done anything. I played 1 match on the of the new Heroes 2.0 beta. That's it.
Yeah.
Played as Arthas, and I crushed an Illidan.
How is it?
That's because you weren't going against me. I would have crushed you.
Oh yeah.
How was it?
It's like, well, it's still Heroes. It's just basically got a new shot.
Dead.
I'm all right with that, honestly. I think it's fun having some more customizable little things that you can tweak, and having characters be able to constantly level up is awesome.
Yeah, Heroes
Just
2.0,
because
aka Overwatch.
It's more, yeah, basically. But like, I like being able to level up a character I actually want to play, not just a character that I don't have 10. Like, all the ones I have 10 are the ones I want to play for the most part.
Yeah.
Ugh.
We'll see. I have a hard time. I'd rather play live Heroes. So like I did it for like 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
I couldn't. Yeah, I haven't played the beta. I'll probably just wait.
Yeah, I played it. I played one match and I was like, all right, I'm over this. Moved on. I wasn't able to watch the VODs while I didn't have time because I just got back yesterday in the afternoon, and we're recording today. But I was able to do some reading. I got on Gasu, read some articles. Got Esports and caught up with the Hearthstone Winter Championships, and read about the semifinals of Apex and the spoiler alert, the team changes over in EU for HGC. So I did get caught up a little bit on that. But let's see, and Dorm too. I guess I missed all of half of the round of 64. I was able to catch the first 2 days of it, and then I missed. Oh, sorry, I missed the round of 32, and then I missed round of 16 and round of 8 while I was on the cruise. But I'm caught up on Dorm 2. Which, speaking of which, in our bracket challenge, you and I are
Getting smoked.
not doing very well, considering we are literally. I'm in second to last place, and you are in last place. You have 610 points.
Woodley.
I have 620.
Yeah.
670. Where would I be?
If you
forgot to
were
join.
in the bracket, if you were a real fan, you would be in third to last. You would be behind everyone else, but ahead of me. So we would be absolutely getting crushed.
Number one on the
bracket.
show.
Isn't that crazy?
Thanks, Yukon.
Senny's in first with 810. Chelsea is in second with 780, and then Varick, one of the listeners that submitted a bracket, is in third with 740.
Nice job.
So
Way to go, buddy.
yeah, so we suck, and we literally do a show about Heroes Esports, and we suck.
Kind of went off on a tangent there, so.
Yeah, we did. We were way behind schedule. So
Yeah.
Well, with that, you want to get into Dorm real quick? Start with Heroes?
No, we're gonna start with Overwatch.
It's high noon.
So in Overwatch, all right, we had our 2 semifinals. Like, because of how we're recording today, the second semifinal happened actually this past Tuesday. So over in Apex, our first semifinal, we had Runaway versus LW Blue, which, surprise, surprise, Runaway ran away with the win 3-2.
they are David and just taking down Goliath after Goliath in this year's Apex.
Good for them.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like the surprise team of the year really coming together.
Like, I actually have this in the notes too. It's that they are the surprise team because last year they actually had to battle through relegations just to even be in this season, and now they're in the
bottom 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have a sponsor. They don't have a team house, which they also say like does affect like their practicing and concentration and stuff like that.
Team chemistry.
Yeah. But they're doing amazing. So in the match, they did win 3-2.
Good on those pink sweatshirt wearing guys.
I love it. But it was a very back and forth match. Runaway took the first map on Lijiang. They took it 2-0, which again, this whole season has been rare to take Lijiang 2-0 or Oasis 2-0, like anything like that. It's been rare. But they won because of very, very meticulous team fighting. Like, all you would see is Haxel playing Genji and Kaiser on Reinhardt just lighting up the kill feed. Like, they were just working together so perfectly that the fact that they said that they don't have a team house, so that does affect like everything with their practice, you can't
Makes
tell.
you wonder, right?
Yeah, you can't tell with how they
What
play.
would they be?
Yeah, exactly.
Where could they?
I mean, they're
Get him
gonna.
a sponsor.
Yeah. Hey, Thunder Kitties. So map 2 was on Kings Row, where LW pushed the first point. Like, there was nobody there. Like, they've done quite a bit this season. But aside from a couple pushbacks by Runaway, that was really it. LW was able to push point B and point C like fairly easily. There was about 2 pushbacks by Runaway before B, and I think only 1 or 2 before C. so LW was able to take it, and LW were much stronger on defense, so they took Kings Row to tie up the series 1-1. Hanamura was quite the incredible map. Runaway ran a dive comp, which was actually just straight out awful. It was a poor decision on them to do that comp, to make a dive comp, but it eventually worked. Taking down into overtime on the first point, they were able to take it, and then on the second point, they were able to just push right in. They did make a couple switches, but they just pushed right into the second point and took it. Like, there was no trouble taking the second point. When they flipped around, LW was the exact opposite. They took the first point like Runaway wasn't even there, but then Runaway was able to hold them to a 3-minute fight on the second point.
Wow.
Yeah, the respawns were just incredible. Like coming in
Stand
and
strong,
delaying.
man. Stand strong.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, holding down the fort. That's like a.
It was it was pretty insane. Runaway eventually did hold them off like at the end of it, and they did take the map win. But seriously, that 3-minute fight, like LW wasn't even really dying. Runaway was, but they were able to just delay enough for more teammates to come in and keep contesting for 3 minutes. That was insane. I highly recommend watching the VOD of at least that map because, like, if you want to see some stalling and some team fighting, that's where it is.
A lot to be learned there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Map 4 was on Route 66, which was the first it was the first map that needed a tiebreaker of the series. LW had 1 minute and Runaway had just over a minute, like about a minute 12, a minute 15. But with the shorter time bank, LW Blue was able to push the payload not just to the first point, but almost all the way to the second point while in overtime, because in a tiebreaker, you don't get more time when you reach the point. It's overtime.
Yeah.
So
it's whatever time you got.
Yeah,
they
they seriously had to have somebody on the payload at all times, and they were able to keep winning team fights to push it all the way, like just before the second point, which was incredibly impressive. I've never seen a push like that in overtime. I think the casters had said that too. They've never seen something like that. But then when they switched around, even though Runaway had just a few, like about 12, 15 more seconds, they weren't even able to push the payload to the first point. So again, it's tied up 2-2. They go to Eichenwald for the match decider, and LW, their first push was really strong, but they just seemed very disjointed after that. They kept getting wiped, but they were able, leading up to the second point, but they were able to keep contesting because of their Genji player, enough for the rest of the team to come in. It's overtime. It's ticking down. They kept somebody on there. They were able to push to point B, and then they kept going in. They were just stopped before point C. But seriously, again, a strong push by LW. Like, basically, overtime didn't mean anything to them. They were able to just keep going in. But Runaway did have a stronger push this time. LW, they used their ults when they didn't need to. Like, they threw in a D.Va ult when they absolutely didn't need to. Like, basically, they were all wiped, and then they're like, oh, let's just throw D.Va's ult in there. Absolutely wasting it. I wanted to...
Was it a Bahgz Zenyatta ult? Was it one of those?
Yeah, basically.
No.
Yeah. I yell at him every time he does it. He ults just to stay alive when the rest of us are dead. I'm like, I hate you. But I want to actually show this clip. Kaiser for Runaway on Reinhardt had an insane 5-man Earth Shatter. That Senny, if you're listening or watching this, you'd be proud of this 5-man Earth Shatter. And then they were able to finish up the map. Like, they did come in and stall, but they ended up team wiping them and they won it. So Runaway is now going into the finals for, like where last season they had to battle relegation. Yeah. And just a little fun note that I saw, because the camera kept panning over, Mike Morheim, and I believe he was with his wife, I'm not sure, but Mike Morheim was over there in Korea watching the semifinals.
Good on him, man.
I believe.
Watch what you built.
I believe season 1 he was there for the finals, but yeah, so he's over. Yeah, exactly. Watch what you built. Yeah, so he's over there watching the games, which I mean, they panned over in both semifinals to show him. Like the first one, he was with a woman, and I think it was his wife. I'm not sure. And then the second one, I think he was just with coworkers. But I mean, I like to see that he's over there.
Cool.
Oh, that's good.
And then so day 2 of the semifinals because they split them.
Before you jump into that, by the way, I just want to give a quick shout out to the LW Blue Tank player, Song, also known as Janice. He's actually in the hospital right now. He has a collapsed lung. He's not going to be able to participate in the bronze the third place match this coming weekend.
That's rough.
Yeah, so just best wishes to him, man, and shout out from the Weekly Blizz crew.
Yeah, hopefully you recover well.
Feel better, man.
You'll be able to play.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, with the day 2, with the second semifinal, we had Meta Athena versus Lunatic High, which was, everybody's expecting Meta Athena. Like, Lunatic High are, very strong, but Meta Athena has just been riding this win wave.
Was it a 23 match win streak or something insane?
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah. And you know what? It actually reminded me a lot of last year's Envious, where they had like a 60 match win streak, but then they lost in, I forgot the first big land. But so it kind of reminded me of that. But Meta Athena's train ran out this time, though. Because
ran out of steam, right?
Yeah, Lunatic High did end up winning 3-2, but it was the first couple games not as exciting, but it did get exciting. So on Nepal, Lunatic High won 2-0. The second point, in fact, was 100-0. The first point was 100 to 22%. So it was pretty dominant fashion by Lunatic High.
I mean, they're on after that loss that they took, they've kind of been on like revenge tour, right?
Yeah. And everything that happened
they've been out
to
for
them,
blood.
Everything that happened to them during like beginning of the season and all that. So yeah, it's exciting to see actually how they're still playing. Second map was Lunatic High, where Meta Athena was only able to take 2 points, and it took them the full time. Lunatic High was able to get all 3 points in just over 7 minutes, so about 40 seconds to go. So they were able to take that, which Lunatic High actually went first. But it's 2-0 in the series. Meta Athena backs against the wall. They actually almost pull off a reverse sweep here. They end up taking Hanamura with both points in only, get this guys, only 3 minutes and 12 seconds to take both points.
Can you walk there that fast?
Apparently they can. Where Lunatic High was only able to get the first point, and they held them for the second one. So it's 2-1 in the series. They go on to Dorado. This one was another, not really tiebreaker, but just barely pushing it a little bit farther type of situation. Where, Lunatic High was only able to, they both only took 2 points, but Meta Athena stopped Lunatic High, closer to the second point. So Meta Athena only had to push that little extra bit, and they were able to. So, they're working for the reverse sweep here, which would have been amazing to see, especially between these two teams. Unfortunately, though, they couldn't get it done. They go on to Hollywood, where Lunatic High, they only took 2 points, but they did that in 3.5 minutes, 3 minutes 38 seconds to be exact, and they held Meta Athena to just the first point. And full time, they couldn't even get the second point. So Lunatic High is now going into the finals, and like you said, they're on a revenge tour because they've always been looked at as that team, like the number 1 Korean team, but they've fallen short. It was
like a slap. Yeah, when they fell short, it was like a slap to the face. Is this like the third time in a row they're in the championship round?
So it's funny
haven't
though.
Won yet.
It's funny though. Both of these teams remind me of last year's Envious. Like Meta Athena has that streak going where Envious did too, but then they lost in the first big LAN, and then they lost in the second big LAN, and then they finally won in Apex Season 1. So Lunatic High now is in that situation where they've been in the finals of 3 events and they haven't won, and they're going against a surprise team now in Runaway. So that's gonna be pretty really interesting to watch how that's gonna play out. We will have the third place match first tomorrow, actually on Friday, which is LW Blue versus Meta Athena. So that's for third and fourth place, which I'm looking at it now. Third place takes home in America converted to US dollar. Third place takes home just over 10,000, and fourth place takes home almost 7,000. But there's also bonuses, like every time you win a match, you win like $700. When you lose a match, you still win about $200. Again, that has to be split though. But So I mean, they'll still walk away with a decent amount of money. First place is 85,000 and second is 34,000, and that won't be played until next Tuesday. Why they're separating it so much, I don't know, but that's gonna be fun to watch. I highly recommend everybody will watch both the third and fourth place match and the finals. So switching out of Apex, we did have the Carbon Series finals where Immortals finally looked like the Immortals that previously won the Winter Premiere back in January. They
kind of getting it all back together.
Yeah, that's what they in fact in an interview they said that they're glad that they've lost lately because that's kind of resparked them. Sometimes you need that. So
yeah, you need to kind of get beat down to kind of get motivated to get back up and get back at it,
Exactly. So in the final week before the playoffs, they 3-0'd Complexity, and then they had to face Complexity again in the first match of the semifinals, and this wasn't a double elim. This was just you win, you're in the finals. You lose, the best you can do is third place. They 3-0'd Complexity again this time in the semifinals to punch their way into the finals. Then we had LG Evil versus Renegades, which LG Evil has looked, like the team that was going to win. I believe they only lost one match this whole series, and that was the Team Liquid in the final week. And they 3-0'd Renegades, which was honestly kind of expected. I mean, I kind of thought Renegades would at least take one map, but they didn't. Renegades had to battle for third, which they ended up taking third in a 3-1 win over Complexity. But so into the finals, LG Evil, like I said, they were the dominant team going into this. Immortals really started to get back their game towards the end of this season, but the Immortals carried it over. They beat LG Evil 3-1, back in their old form, like how they've looked before. And it's good to see though, especially from this team, because I believe 3 of the members are 18 and 17.
Wow.
And I believe Verbo is their in-game leader, and he's 17 years old. So this is a very young team, and it's just good to see though that they acknowledge the fact now, because you don't see too many even pro athletes in traditional sports. You don't see too many younger athletes saying, "Oh, it's glad that we lost because sometimes you need that." You don't really see that from them. So to see this in these players that are this young, and they acknowledge the fact that sometimes we need to lose to build back up, I think that that's going to be a really good sign for the scene and for this team. And also, they actually just withdrew today from the Overwatch Pit series, citing that they just played 2. They had the Winter Premiere and then the Carbon series that both were took very long to complete. So they are withdrawing from this tournament just to kind of relax, give their brains time to relax and just practice and prepare for Overwatch League and whatever's next. And so
there you go.
Yeah, there we go. So that's actually it for Overwatch. So what's happening?
That's all?
Oh, that's all, right? I know.
It was a busy week.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it was a busy week. Overwatch is basically always going on. There's also the Overwatch Pit series, which Europe finally just completed their their side of the bracket. There's also an N.A bracket, which is completely separate, which starts today. But I can talk about that afterwards because that was a lot. So let's move into Heroes of the Storm.
Greetings, friend.
Who wants to go? Bahgz, Steph, you want to Brotein?
Oh, I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so hit us with it, Brotein.
All right, so for Heroes of the Dorm, we had LSU playing Stony Brook, where LSU took a pretty demanding 2-0 win. Both times Stony Brook picked Zul'jin, and it turned out to be a pretty bad pick for them. Pick for an assassin, because he has no real escapability,
right?
And they couldn't get in front of him and block him out, so he got picked off quite a bit, and it said a lot of bad curses on Cursed Hollow. I think they cursed him 2 or 3 times, and
wow,
they their KT in the second game was just
unreal, absurd.
Yeah, he just destroyed the whole team every single time. There's nothing they could do. You get the combo off, the stun and the fire circle there. Whatever it's called.
Yeah, I forget what it's called.
And it was just see you later. And Yeah, they went 3 tanks in the first game, which I was really confused about.
Really?
Stony Brook did, not LSU, and it didn't seem to work out. They just didn't have the damage with Zul'jin getting picked off. So, yep. And so moving on to Laval, so Canadian team holding it down.
Okay.
This is the last
Versus,
Canadian team in Dorm too.
Versus UTA, and who's obviously considered to be the favorite for the whole competition here, and rightfully so. They were a really, really strong team in the finals last year with 2 ex-pros on them who are ridiculous with Cladius and Huge.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Kier might have been too.
Kier's on the team, and he's been Grandmaster #1 every season so far.
Yeah.
So they're pretty ridiculous. So
yeah.
It was a 2-0, but in the first game, it was ridiculously close with almost full team wipe. Actually, I think at one point it was full, charging up to the core by Laval, and only there was like who was on Arthas for UTA, but they were just defending the core, like a mad dash, and it was a big team fight. It ended up being a noob and Malfurion for Laval that were still up, and they were pushing towards core with just an Arthas. So they ended up picking up Arthas, and I think it was I have it written down. Cladius on Leoric is he gets back to life, slows him down, defends the point. They obviously didn't have enough firepower to finish it, but they could have held them back a bit or taken some camps, things like that. But they stayed close. Laval did, and ended up not working out for him because they rezzed, charged in, had a big team fight. They won the team fight, picked up the picked up the Dragon Knight and pushed for the win. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So then second game, it was just a straight up stomp by UTA. I think it was like 12 minutes or something. It's just a big brand train.
They're still undefeated. Like you pull it up, man. They are. I mean, throughout this tournament, they're 24-0. They have 12-0 match record. Everything they've done has been 2-0. Man, they've averaging 4 deaths, average game time 14 minutes. Like
it's absurd.
It's insane.
It shouldn't be that quick. So, moving on to Kentucky versus UC San Diego, and Kentucky was not doing very well in the first game at all. They were down, I think, 2 levels at one point, and 2-3, but they ended up catching UC San Diego and tilted the game and ended up winning. I think it was Infernal Shrines, winning a couple points and just ended up pushing, win quick. John Cena, see you later. And then the second game was another stop. They pretty much rushed core as quick as possible and won the game, which was insane. Yeah. I saw a lot of that. A lot of people were playing really, really aggressive and pushing core at like 13 minutes.
Wow.
We should also, the other thing to mention about Kentucky is we were talking, we briefly mentioned it earlier with the seeding, is Kentucky's a 13 seed. Like out of 16, it's bracket 13. They beat UConn to get here. They beat, the Tricky Turtles.
They beat the Tricky Turtles, man. It hurts. That was my pick, obviously, to go to the finals. I didn't have them winning because, let's be realistic. UTA is like
UTA
far and above the best team here.
It's like a 1% chance for them not to win.
Riot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, lastly, let's talk about UC Irvine versus Indiana, who had like the weirdest displayed name ever. It was like Ayapui or something. I was like, I don't know what that means. But so Indiana wins the first game with a couple of sweet mosh pits. I'm not sure who their tank player was exactly off the top of my head, but he hit a winning mosh pit at like 14 minutes, and then they just charged core and won. Like, nice. 4-man mosh. See you later. Good night. So, second game, we had UC Irvine tilt the game on a Jaina ring and nuke the whole team down, and that gets them up a couple levels and ends up letting them push core.
Snowball it, yeah.
Yep, snowballed it, and third game, UC Irvine just pulled it out. It was pretty close for first part of the game, and then they pulled ahead and just did not let it go. So not too bad of a series.
That was the only 2-1 series too. Everything else was 2-0.
The UTA game could have been 2-0. The LSU Stony Brook was pretty set in stone, as was the Kentucky UC San Diego, minus the first game. So, shout out to the best name in Heroes of the Dorm, Dank Memes
Thank
on
you.
Indiana. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
And
So
so we have the heroic four set, and on the one side we have two number 1 seeds, and then it's funny. There's two number 1 seeds, a number 2, and then a 13 in Kentucky.
Kentucky just sticks out like a sore thumb, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting, but it happens. It
So
happens.
I kind of want to root
that's
for
the
them
bracket
just as
fun.
like the
Me too,
underdog, but
right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm about to be like, go Wildcats, baby. Wow. But,
all right. So what other news do we have, Bahgz? I'll let you do it.
rip into it. Well, the EU Open, the 5th European Open happened this past week as well, and surprise, surprise, Team Zealot won again. So now their lead has gotten to be pretty substantial. They have 440 points. Team Ma is in second with 290. 4K MMR average has moved up. They're up to 230. Polska Pamieta is in fourth with 195, and then no one else is really close. So I'm not going to go through the whole top 16.
Yeah, no.
But that being said, there's only 2 European Open Cups left. And then after that, they're going to have the big playoff where all 16 teams will play in a big tournament to determine the top 2 that'll play in the Crucible.
Is that how it's working?
Yeah, there'll be 16 teams that play for those 2 spots. There'll be a tournament, but you have to be in the top 16 in points to qualify for this tournament. So there's 7 cups, and so they have 5 down currently,
right.
And they have 2 more to go. That being said, a new team to the fold that just showed up, got second place in this week's European Open Cup. That is Ready and Willing, I believe was their name. Oh, Ready Able Willing, or Raw, RAW. They actually took a game off Team Zealot in the finals there and kind of snuck in there. So we'll see though. If, we've had a couple of the teams kind of like come out of nowhere for 1 week and then they just kind of
Fizzle.
drift away. Yeah, fizzle. So there you go. Team Zealot seems to be the team that is going to be most likely competing for a spot in the HGC with a really good shot. I don't know if there's any other contenders to take a spot.
When did My Insanity get back into Heroes and pick up a Open Division team?
I do not know, but they actually they sponsored what is the weekly? It's like Chair League, but it's the European version. Is Heroes?
I'm not familiar.
They sponsor that now, the European Chair League. So they're into the scene. So they have an open, but it's obviously not very good. They're in 13th place with 10 points. I'm assuming you're looking at the same thing I'm looking at. Yeah.
Ooh. Not a good day.
Other than that, we did have some Hearthstone news that's kind of interesting. I'll share with you guys. There's obviously our Hearthstone. Whoa.
Man, I was like, bro,
Heroes.
you get ahead of yourself. There's one pretty big announcement you missed.
A big words are hard.
Words are hard.
I did mention it briefly earlier. In the EU HGC, Misfits actually parted ways with their players, with their team, and those players were picked up by Team Liquid, which got back into the hero scene, which is, in my opinion, that's good news.
Yeah,
that's because Misfits wasn't leaving, as far as I understand it, and I don't have all the information, but as far as I understand it, it came down to the contracts were up for the players, and they couldn't come to an understanding with the Misfits organization, but they parted ways amicably. The players seemed to be really respectful, and when they tweeted out, they were very, very thankful for everything Misfits provided for them, and vice versa. But Team Liquid came in and picked up the 5 players, so they got picked up very quickly, which means Misfits is actually looking to pick up another team. And you pointed that out to me, Gwaz, that they're looking to pick up an NA team.
Yeah,
and a lot of the indicators probably we're all thinking they're going to pick up the best performing NA team that isn't currently sponsored, which is probably Team 8.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens there. B-Step is also not sponsored, and that is the 3/5 of the former Cloud9 roster. So
yeah, I feel like Cloud9 should just get back into it and pick up their team.
I agree. They should pick up a team on their own. Yeah. So
absolutely, I still got my mount.
Yeah,
well,
Misfits
to
didn't
me,
really.
Go ahead.
Oh, Misfits didn't really make an announcement about why like this was all kind of found out like on Reddit about like the contract.
Yeah, it's all
So
secondhand. I
yeah,
really
so
don't know.
we don't know for a fact, but they did tweet out, good luck, and we wish the best of luck to our ex team, and that's where I was like, whoa, what? And I'm trying to find it, and then Hasuabs, replied to it saying, thank you so much. We were, glad to be able to play under the Misfits banner. And so I see this, I'm like, oh, well, that's good of Hasuabs. But then I look at the name now, it said Liquid Hasuabs. So I was like, whoa there, buddy. So that's like kind of when I went down the rabbit trail, or the rabbit hole. But somebody then asked, like, are you going to try to pick up another unsponsored team like Expert? And this time the owner of Misfits replied saying, we're looking to stay in HOTS, but in NA. So
right.
the
So
owner
that's
himself
got us
like
all
is
thinking.
the one that said it. Yeah.
So that's that information.
That's a pretty good indicator.
Yeah.
Why they split up, not so much. The other thing I wanted to mention, which was I wanted to highlight because the former MVP Black Assassin star Rich retired after this before HGC started, and another player indicated
amazing player.
He is going like the best support in the world, arguably. It's either him or Bakery in my opinion.
Well, I was gonna say Rich,
it's
Assassin, but yeah,
it's either him or Bakery.
Mary
Anyways, what I was
insane.
gonna say, yeah, Mary
His
Day is looking.
Oh, I just wrecked it.
Looking to retire after the midseason brawl he announced. So we don't know if it's gonna happen or not, but another MVP Black guy.
Yeah, haven't past MVP Black players though been like, yeah, I'm retiring, and then they're like, JK, we're back.
I don't know. I mean, Rich is still retired, so there's that.
Yep.
And then NetEase announced that HGC China, their first season, which Blizzard had said before would pick up after the Eastern Clash, is going to pick up this this coming Monday, starting Monday, April 3rd. They're going to play on Mondays and Tuesdays, and they're going to have a 7-week season, and it's going to run from April 3rd to May 16th. It doesn't want to. It doesn't want to. It's going to run in the same schedule as the Korean HGC. So because they're in the same time zone, and they don't want the viewership to clash, right. They're going to play on Mondays and Tuesdays, and then HGC in Korea will run on Saturdays and Sundays. So that's coming up, but that's basically it for Heroes. It wasn't a slow week. I mean, even when there isn't HGC going on for Heroes, there's always stuff happening, So
yeah,
just good.
Absolutely.
That's it.
More
Heroes?
content, better. So, but yeah, that basically wraps up Heroes.
Throw some cards at me, bro.
All right, yeah, with Hearthstone.
Welcome back.
So we this past weekend we had the Winter Championship, and we now have a new champ in Stan Udachi.
Which I love that name.
Yeah, it's a great name. Another
It's
European champion. Previous was Pavel. And just like a side note that I found interesting is that he tends to play fast, and he admits it. And in an interview during the Winter Championship, he had said that going into this, he told himself to just slow down. Just play slow.
Yeah.
There's another player, Doc Pone, who's Canadian. He also told himself like the same thing because he's also a fast player, and he just said, slow down, play slow, don't make dumb mistakes. But speaking of Doc Pone, he actually did beat the reigning world champ, Pavel, and that was actually the decider match out of groups to make it into the quarterfinals. So Pavel didn't even make it out of group. And he's the reigning champ, and I think he has like the best win rate also in Hearthstone, and like a big streak going. But there was another thing too with Pavel where in an interview he said also with Hearthstone when you're playing on LAN, it's also a mind game where he'll just look up, like if they're sitting across from each other, he'll just look up and look at his opponent and just smile, just to kind of get in his head. And so constantly the camera was actually picking this up in his match against Doc Pone, and the casters were just loving it and eating it up. But Doc Pone knew it too, and Doc Pone is also the oldest player there. I believe he's in his 30s, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think he is. But so he would just kind of smile back too, like knowing what he was trying to do. But so it was funny to see that also, like integrating a mind game into this card game. Yeah, more like poker style. That's kind of how he was playing it.
Absolutely. as the game matures, I'm sure like these things are gonna slowly all these
come out.
Correct. It kind of like it'll intricate itself into the game more as it
Yep.
grows and matures.
But so in the challenge of pick your champion, I picked Frozen, who's from NA.
Not a bad idea.
And you get a pack for like as far as a pack of cards for every phase that they get to. Frozen had an incredible run and he made it all the way to the finals. He actually had to be in a decider match just to get out of groups where he had to fight back and reverse sweep it just to make it out of groups. And basically all his matches were hard fought matches, going at almost all 7 games every time. And in fact, there was only one 4-0 sweep, and that was by Stan Udachi. There were 2. Stan Udachi had a clean sweep in the semis, and Frozen had a clean sweep also in the semis against Doc Pone 4-0. So it actually took that long for there to be that kind of dominant match. Stan Udachi also only dropped, I think, 3 games, also like in groups and leading into this. He was on a really, really good win streak on riding that high going in there. So they had and Frozen and Stan Udachi did play each other in group play, where Stan Udachi won 4-1. But this time in the finals, Frozen lost 4-3. But again, this was almost a reverse sweep that he pulled off here. He was down 2-0 or 3-0, and he just fought back. He came back, and he was playing his game. The last game came down to he was so low. He managed to draw, Reno Jackson, but at that point it was kind of just like a,
delaying the inevitable.
Yeah, putting a band-aid on the wound. It wasn't really gonna help, and Stan Udachi took the win, going off of like his Alex Straza card and basically just negating what Reno had just done.
Correct. Yeah, I read about that, and then he got lethal with like his spells, and that was it.
Yeah. So Stan Udachi took home $60,000, and you know what? Frozen, I believe he's a college student, but I think he's taking time off right now just because of like the timing of these tournaments. But in the last 2 weeks, Frozen was flown to California for Trinity Series where he took second. So he's kind of in a second place rut right now. But the split from Trinity Series and then taking home $40,000 for second place here in the Winter Championship. So in a 2 week span, he had time in California and the Bahamas and took home $50,000. That's not bad for taking second place both times. And he was kind of the last hope for NA in this too, but he played really well, and it's gonna be hopefully he can. I mean, Hearthstone is obviously a very RNG game, but
but what card game isn't?
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully
that's the whole fun of it.
Hopefully he'll get past his second place hump and be able to take home first in, maybe at BlizzCon or wherever the next championship will be. So. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see this, and I hope he has a good career.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's
NA FT dub.
NA.
Maybe
that's
someday.
That's it for Hearthstone. That's all that happened this past weekend. We're gonna have like a bit of a lull. We do have the global games coming. I think like the qualifiers and stuff like that are coming up. But
there's drama with that, man.
There is.
We'll talk. We can talk about it next week. Yeah, I don't really have anything written down for it. But yes, spoiler alert, guys, there's drama.
The drama kind of unfolded today, like before we started to record this, so we don't have all the information about it. So it would kind of just be poor on us to talk about it now if we don't have all the facts.
100%.
I mean, we could, but
we're very professional here.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't worry.
But that's it. That's it for the show. That's it. We're done.
Cool.
Yeah, so
put it in the canister, man. Clip.
Yeah.
We're done.
Bahgz,
is this thing on?
Where can people find you?
Where can people find me? Well, you can find me on Twitter at powerup_Bahgz. You can watch me stream seldomly, though I would really love to stream more often. You can watch me stream on twitch.tv/Bahgz. And I'm actually looking, I don't know if I'm going to do this, but I would like to, is I want to do like a little slideshow YouTube video where I kind of like, it's like almost like a vlog where I'll slideshow some pictures from my vacation and talk about it a little bit. But that's where you can find me. Brotein, where can we find you, man?
You can find me on Twitter at powerup_Brotein and in game at Brotein.
There you go.
So far so good.
And you
All
can
right, how
find
about you,
me.
Sean?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Sean Mess, on Twitch /Gwaz, GHWOZZ. I would like to stream more, but again, just trying to find a good schedule for
Impossible.
that. Yeah, I know. Real life stinks sometimes.
Tell me about it, dude.
Adulting stinks.
I gotta go to bed in like 2.5 hours, so it's
Yeah.
awesome.
But other than that, you can find the show on YouTube. Please subscribe by searching the Weekly Blizz. Please subscribe to us and turn on that notification button so you can see when the new videos of every episode are up, and for whatever other content we come out with. You can find us on basically your podcast app of choice: iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play. We're there. We're probably on other ones too that we forgot about, that we pushed out a while ago. Even if you're not an iTunes user, please go on, give us a 5. I know I ask this every time, but please go on iTunes, give us a 5-star review. Helps us out a lot. Really helps promote the show. That helps us also be able to push out more content for all of you. You can email the show at theweeklyblizz@gmail.com. You can also follow it on Twitter and Facebook, all the Weekly Blizz. And also thank you to Nicholas Dominique for the fantastic music that we use for our intro and our outro.
Yes.
And with that,
Sweet deal.
we will see you next week. See ya.
Take care.
Later. Peace.
Peace.